something or not. Better if you can just, uh, if you can just type in English language, because I don't understand in which language you're writing. Thank you. So Saturday, Sunday, Saturday timings will be like as per Indian Standard Time (IST). That will be evening time. That is from 8 to 10 p.m. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the next day, Sunday, it will be a morning slot as per the Indian Standard Time, which will commence from 9 a.m. and will go to up to 11 a.m. 9 to 11. So Saturday, Sunday, both days it will be 2 hours of session in which various concepts will be covered. So I'll just show you the concepts, the topics that will be covered. Let me put my screen on presentation mode, and I'll confirm from any one of you whether it is visible or not. So anyone can confirm whether the screen is visible to everyone. The characters are, you can read the characters. Can anyone please quickly confirm?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So yeah, this will be 5 day for 5G optimization training, in which, see, typically we have divided this course will be divided into total of 6 sections, 6 modules we can say. And all the guys that are related with RF optimization, or those even from non-RF background, if they have interest to learn optimization, so that course will be applicable to those, even for the drive test engineers who haven't performed optimization, or for the existing guys also who are already doing the optimization. Because 5G is a new technology, that not that too much, but LTE you might have already worked upon it. So I hope that you're coming up, the guys should come up with the fundamental, at least with the fundamental concepts of LTE. So many of the terminologies, many of the technical standards between 5G and 4G will be common. But if whenever any new terminology comes, any new concept comes, any new parameter, any new counter comes, that will be discussed in detail. I'll highlight that. So as I said, that this session will be focused on Ericsson system only. So whatever the KPIs we will discuss, I mean, their root cause analysis, their troubleshooting in terms of soft optimization, that is parameter and counter optimization. So those will be Ericsson specific. So guys who have already done performed the drive test in the field or not performed, I know the black and white key concepts of drive test. So in optimization part, as you know, because of the high demand, in today's market, whenever you face some interview, you prepare for your own competence enhancement. So just to be limited in the area of hard optimization is not the case anymore. The customer, your superiors, they always need the niche skill about the soft optimization. So the more you have understanding on the parameter and the counter optimization, then it will be a good representation towards the customer and his superiors. So I'll show one by one what are those 6 modules. As I said, total 5G optimization course is divided into 6 modules. So 6 modules, though, will be the first module will be of 5G architecture and performance framework. Second module will be for accessibility optimization. Third module will be for retainability optimization. And fourth module will be for mobility optimization, that is related with handover and all. Fifth will be for throughput optimization. And the last session will be end-to-end performance troubleshooting. Let us see, I'll just convey what are the topics and the subtopics that's going to be covered in these sessions. And just before that, just want to highlight 2 to 3 points. See, this session will be like an open, it will be like open discussion. So here it will be not like this is in order to assess somebody's technical competency. We are not here to typical to take some interviews or know the knowledge of some person. Here everyone has gathered to learn something. So whatever concerns, questions, queries, whatever comes into your mind, you're free to ask at any point of time. It is nothing like that the questions are will only be entertained towards the end of the session. It will not be the case. As I said, it will be a kind of open discussion. So whatever at any point of time, if somebody feels some doubt, queries or any topic, he or she may feel that it is not clear, need to be repeated, then you can please ping in between anytime. So don't worry about that. Even if you think that any feedback you want to give, or you think as per your knowledge something is missing, that is also always welcome, because it is technical concepts. There is no kind of thumb rule. One concept I may know, other any other new thing you must be knowing. So it's better to should have a word conversation, should have an open discussion. And 5G technology, as you know, that this is basically a use case based. The more number of use cases are there, the more it will be clarity, and the more optimization standards get unlocked. So it goes like that. So first module, as you can see in the screen, here are the subtopics, the topics that will be covered. First of all, we'll start with the 5G architecture and overall performance framework, in which we will discuss about the complete 5G architecture, their components, their subcomponents, their plugin nodes, the plugin nodes, and relatively the interfaces associated with it. So if we talk about the 5G architecture, that is the complete framework. So first of all, we'll start with the 5G RAN overview. In LT, starting, if I talk about the very, very old technology, the start technology, that is 2G, which is called as GSM. So in the radio unit, we used to call as BTS, for transmitting and receiving your signals, that is BTS. When it comes to 4G LT, it is called as E node B. And in NR, that is new radio or 5G, it is called as G node B. But the architecture is bit different from LT. I'm not saying that it is entirely different from LT. You will be easily be able to correlate it with LT, but with some enhanced components that we will discuss one by one in detail. So that's why before going for optimization standards, we will start with the 5G architecture and complete framework, so that at least you should know about the hardware, where the components has been placed, what are those interfaces that lying between, that interconnects between the two components. So we will start with the 5G RAN overview. That is, that comprises of three components, that is G node B, CU, centralized unit, and the distributed unit and radio unit, four components basically, in which centralized unit is further divided between control plane and user plane. Again, I am saying that I expect that at least guys should know the fundamental concepts. Nobody comes with zero concept of LT. Then only you will be able to relate. So I hope guys are already working in this domain. The guys who are working in other domain like testing profile or something, I urge them to before coming to the main batch, just revise your concepts, revise your basic concepts, so that at least you can connect, right? Then after RAN overview, that is the RAN components, we will talk about the core network elements. As you know, our complete architecture is divided into two components. One will be from radio side, that is called as radio access network RAN. Other will be from core. So we will discuss not only about the RAN components, but we will discuss about the core network elements also, because we cannot discuss one and leave one just by saying that core is not our department. It is nothing like that. Things works end to end. So we have to study. We should at least know the functionality of each and every component. So by keeping that in mind, we will discuss the core network elements that comprises of three components: your access mobility function, session mobility function, and user plane function. So we will discuss that. Then the interfaces, it's a kind of a medium, which interconnects two components, two or more components. Some medium should be required that used to interconnect, kind of a medium, we can say. So those all interfaces, used in 5G that we will discuss: NG, E1, F1, CU, X and X2. Interfaces you might have, heard about in LT also. Likewise, we have some different set of interfaces in 5G also, that we will discuss in detail in the first module, when we will discuss about the 5G architecture and overall framework. Then we will see some of the basic concepts, basic terms, like bandwidth, TDD. What do you mean by sub-carrier spacing? These sub-carrier spacing, TDD, MIMO, bandwidth, all these terminologies, RF guys, you might have heard in LT as well. So it's a kind of a it's a kind of a brush up, it's a kind of a revision, but there are some extension, because 5G is like is for advanced technology. You have some enhanced features, you have some advanced feature. For example, if I talk about MIMO in LT, which is going since legacy technology, but in 5G you have the massive MIMO. In 5G you have you don't have any fixed frequency range, you have two frequency ranges. One is frequency range 1, another is frequency range 2. Frequency range 2, which is for millimeter wave, that we will discuss one by one. So there is an enhancement because it is advanced technology, So MIMO in place of MIMO, in 5G we will have massive MIMO. So those all we will revise, and any new terminologies that we will discuss from scratch. Then we will see, talking about the deployments, being running out in commercial market. So what are those strategy that the operators follow? Definitely there must be some strategy by which you just roll out your network in the commercial market. So 5G has two domains. One is SA, that stands for standalone, and another is NSA, that is non-standalone. It is very simple, and I hope that you might have done your research, but still we will do from scratch. Standalone, as the word says, stand alone. Here, the core element and the radio network components all are of 5G supporting. That supports only 5G technology. But if we talk about the NSA, that is non-standalone. That is non-standalone. So your NSA has both the technologies, LTE as well as 5G, in which your radio part will be for LTE, your RAN part will be of 5G, but your core element will be from LTE, the legacy technology. So in NSA, you will use the existing infrastructure that is cost effective, and whenever operator launches its 5G network, maximum operators, in order to be cost effective, they start with NSA. But that is not the standard. It depends upon how much budget they're having, what is their strategy. Yes, definitely there are some operators which go with the standalone strategy also. For example, in India, we have Reliance Jio. So Reliance Jio follows the strategy of standalone. Every infrastructure, everything should be core element. The radio network elements all are 5G supporting. But talking about operators in India like VI, Bharti, and all those, they go for the NSA deployment. So they go for the NSA deployment, and after having enough customer penetration, enough revenue, they will migrate. Slowly they will migrate their network from NSA to SA platform. So that's how it goes. So we have some strategy. Let me check whether somebody is saying something or not. Yeah, somebody is posted a message. Ericsson is doing FIFA event monitoring for many operators in USA. Yeah. Will this be touching some optimization topics likely related to USA? Definitely, Paris. It will include all those concepts. Why? I tell you right here. See, FIFA event and all that, they are the very high capacity events. In India also, Indian Premier League cricket matches going on, IPL. So whatever the event, that just attracts a very large number of customer base. Suddenly, your customer, your data payload, your traffic services, your utilization gets suddenly increased. So by keeping the standard parameters, which you use in normal fashion, they will not cater the such heavy amount of traffic. Definitely, you should have your network with enhanced capacity, so that in such event, customer will not compromise with their services, and at last and at most at the user end, the customer service should be superb. So for that, what will we do? We have some optimization strategies. For example, applying some high capacity parameters, to do proper load balancing in that manner. So definitely it will be relative to this FIFA event also. So that all will be covered. So this will definitely help you from the optimization perspective. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Paresh. So yeah, talking about the deployment strategies, we have some of the commercial, common as well as non-common deployment strategies that we will discuss in detail. Then slowly we will start with the performance KPIs. But before that, and during 5G architecture performance framework, never to forget that, even before starting that optimization, we will go with the 5G call flow. 5G call flow, as you know, it's very, very critical, very, very important. If you go for some assessment, departmental assessment, or you prepare for some interview and anything, some sort of things, every second interviewer, every second client expects that you should be handy. You should know the complete call flow. You should be aware of the concept. So before entering into optimization, along with the 5G architecture, we will also see the 5G call flow. After discussing the 5G call flow, then slowly we will start with our critical, crucial KPIs, that is accessibility, retainability, mobility, integrity. These all KPIs, accessibility, retainability, mobility, integrity, these all terms are not new. You might have heard since day one when you entered into the telecom. But it is 5G technology. So whatever discussion we will focus towards 5G only. We will relate with LTE, but main focus will be on 5G because this program module is designed for discussing the 5G technology only, right? So after module 1, you can see we will start with the accessibility optimization. This is the first gateway when user is trying to access the network. The very first gateway when the preambles has been decided. So talking about accessibility optimization. Now another questions, another very critical concept come. So that critical concept we will discuss in the starting itself. That is RACH call flow, random access channel call flow, RACH call flow. Basically, it is a flow of 4 messages from message 1 to message 4. So we will discuss the complete breakdown of it, how the RAS call flow goes. You know, this will be the very first concept. By discussing the call flow, you will be easily able to relate. How to diagnose the root causes, and according to those root causes, how to select the set of the parameters in order to close our issue, in order to resolve our issue. Then we will see the various KPIs that are related with the accessibility optimization. RRC connection setup analysis, all the KPI, their formulae, their threshold ranges, what does they mean, or what are the factors that affect those KPIs, and basically what is the expectation of each and every second client and how to improve it. Okay. Then we will see about the ENDC setup analysis. That is your EUTRAN, dual connectivity. When we say the dual connectivity, the word itself signifies dual, means two. So that will comprises of our both the technologies, LTE and 5G. So how this ENDC, functions, and how to improve the ENDC relatable KPIs, that we will discuss in this topic. That is ENDC setup success analysis. Then we will see the common factors that affect our overall accessibility. First of all, as you know, whenever any issue comes, we have to bucketize it. We have to see in which category, or we can say what are the factors that are affecting our KPI. We cannot, go randomly in optimization. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to choose the, troubleshooting step. So first we have to bucketize. That is, we have to categorize them, the issues that are affecting our accessibility. So in that, we will see whether our issues are related with coverage, whether they're related with admission controls. That means first we have to segregate whether the issues are from the RAN part, that is radio side, or from the core side. That we have to segregate. Accordingly, then we have to bucketize, and then we have to find out the solution. So those all issues we will be discussed that will affect our overall accessibility optimization. Then after discussing those issues, we will go for the selection of those parameter tunings. How to choose those parameters, how to tune them, what does they mean, what are their basically their ranging to those ranges, whether they have some standard range, whether they have some liberty, and how can we step up, how can we step down depending on the problem, in order to troubleshoot them. And just to inform you, because you don't think like it will be only a kind of a theory lessons like in school and colleges. No, it is nothing like that. We will give you a live example. How we will give? For each and every KPI category, we will show you some of the case studies, some of the very recent case studies that will show you. And those case studies, there will be like, first of all, it will show you the problem statement. What is the problem statement that is found? According to that problem statement, what are the root causes? That is RCAs. What are the root cause analysis that were being found out? And as per those root cause analysis, the selection of parameter that are required to resolve that issue, and post implementing those parameters, what are the post counters that will be used for the monitoring? Definitely we will make some changes, and we will see whether they are service affecting or non-service impacting. Then we should have some standards. So those standards are the counters. So we will see what are those counters that will be used for post monitoring, in order to see that after doing the parameter optimization, what level of improvement have you achieved? I mean, is it stable? You have achieved no improvement, or you have improved, you have observed, minimal kind of improvement, or you have improved a significant improvement. That we will see. So in each and every KPI category, those case studies will be discussed as per the scenario, so that you have more clarity towards the parameter and the counter optimization. So typically it will not be a theory class, it will be a practical class also. After accessibility optimization, then we will proceed towards the retainability optimization, or we can say like as a drop optimization. Let me see guys, how many of us? Okay, around I can say 21 of, yeah, that's a good count. So retainability optimization, that is the drop optimization. So you can see the topics that will be covered. Again, we will see the formula we will see the various KPIs that are related with the retainability, their formula, how they are made upon, their thresholds, the expectation of the customer. Because drop is a very, very painful, we can say, although it is a critical part, but in our day-to-day life, especially for the RF optimization guides, it is one of the very, very painful field. Because the expectation, the threshold that has been kept by each and every operator, that is very, very stringent, very less. Even nowadays, operator don't expect that your drop rate should go less than 0.5%. Even they have made it tough. They don't expect that your drop rate must increase rather than even more than 0.25%. So that makes life very painful. So we will see, but unless and until our technical concepts are clear, your technical concepts are clear, then it will be easy for you to ease your life. So we will see what are those KPIs related to the drop, how they are segregated, their issues, their scenarios, and we have some of the abnormal releases, we have some of the normal releases. We will discuss among them. And drop which are contributed by RAN, that is radio, and the drop that are being contributed by the core part, that we will segregate. And then in the optimization part, as you know, in LT also, guys, those who have delivering or have delivered towards the LT technology, whenever it comes to the drop optimization, you might have tuned some timers. Tuned some timers. So the timers you can see on your screen, like T3100, T310, T311, inactivity timers. So those are timers. Once again, we will discuss. Along with those, we will discuss the timers that are related with the NR technology. Like we have N310, N311. Okay, so those all we will discuss how this timer optimization will impact my retainability rate. How we can tune it. First of all, before tuning every timer, you should know exactly what is the meaning, why this timer is being used, because it is a very confusing kind of scenario. What happens in interviews when you discuss about these timers, interviewer may confuse you. Some concepts are nearly equivalent to each other, but it is not the case. If they are relatable to some extent, but every timer has some different functionality. So you should know. When that concept is embedded into your mind, then it will be easy for you to decide which exact timer needs to be tuned at what instant of time. So those all we will discuss. Then we are talking about the retainability optimization. We have some optimization tools that help us perform the retainability optimization. So what are those tools? What are they meant for? How they being used? And what rate of improvement, what they deliver? That also we will discuss in our retainability optimization section module. That is the module 3. Okay. Then we will head towards our module 4. That is handover optimization, mobility optimization. And as you know, talking about LT optimization, whenever another important topic comes for mobility optimization, guys who are already, each and every customer call, interview, group discussions, it is being asked, everyone, do you know about the LT events? So guys who are already aware of this, RF guys, you might have heard about the LT events. So in NR also we have some events, mostly related to each other. But if any different term comes, that will be focused on and that will be discussed in detail. We will discuss those events. And before that, we will discuss again, because it is complete mobility optimization. It may take a bit time, because handover procedure, that is divided into 2 phases, the preparation phase, the execution phase. So as per every phase, whether in prep phase or execution phase, then we have to decide the troubleshooting step. So that in 2 phases, individually, we will discuss in detail what are those phases. And the drop and the mobility, drop retainability and mobility handover, they are interrelated to each other. If you have drop, in your network, then definitely your handover will be impacted, or vice versa. If your handover is poor, drop rate will also be impacted. So how to maintain a trade-off, how to maintain a margin between them? You cannot go with the cost of improving one technology and degrading the another technology. So the challenge lies with maintaining the trade-off between those. So how to maintain that trade-off, that we will discuss in mobility optimization. And yes, never to forget, because already we are discussing these KPIs, but please never forget, you will correlate with me. Another important, very critical topic is there, that is the load balancing. Lots and lots of things depends on a proper load balancing. how it is being performed, what are those parameters. Basically, load balancing means to steer your traffic, in the correct direction as per the priority, as per the bandwidth. Multiple factors are there which decides the load balancing. So in 5G also, we will discuss the load balancing in detail. And one of our friend like Paris was writing, FIFA event is going to happen. So in that load balancing, we will correlate with such high capacity or high user footfall events, and we will see what are those set of parameters, how we can cater such huge amount of traffic with the help of soft optimization. So those all we will discuss in that events. Then in mobility optimization, we already until this we should have discussed about the phases, the events, and then we will see some of the very very important parameters that will directly impact your mobility, like conditional handover, cell individual offsets, time to trigger. So in this mobility optimization and other optimization also, you will hear about these parameters repeatedly. So we will discuss in detail what do you mean by CIO, their positive value, their negative value, how they impact, and what are those factors, that leads to the in the decision making, whether we should go for the positive CIO application or we should go for the negative CIO application. Those all we will discuss. And especially I have written, never just to reiterate again, that for after each and every during each and every optimization discussion, we will go with the case studies. So we will discuss in the mobility part also, we will discuss about the advanced some of the mobility case studies. Okay. And after completion of the mobility, our last KPI will be the throughput optimization. Another painful area, because we have very very tough competition between the operators. Everybody declares whenever they roll out the network that ours is the service which gives you the excellent service as compared with other operators. So how they challenge it, how they give such kind of bold statement, and still users complain that I'm not getting enough speed on my mobile, on my tab, on my laptop. Then what are the issues related with it to maintain those trade-off? Gone are the days in which we used to send the field guys, just going to give the down tilt, or by adjusting the orientation of the antenna, you're gonna try to improve your KPI. So gone are the days. That we have the concept of driverless tuning. We have all that in place. We have advanced tools. We have tools like geosynthesis, Okla, which just gives you all the stats later according to the geo positioning of the user. So the demand of, it's not like drive test is gone, but the demand has decreased. That's why enhancing the skill of this software optimization in today's telecom scenario is very very vital for you. So anyways, in module 5 we will discuss about the throughput optimization. Again, we will follow the same strategy. That is, we will first of see how these what are those corresponding KPIs, what are their formulas, what are their thresholds, what are their ranges, what are their acceptable limits, how we can decide whether it is in the acceptable range, whether it is degraded or it is severely degraded. Then accordingly, we will see our scheduling efficiency. And talking about the throughput optimization, nevertheless, we have to discuss about the modulation coding scheme. Because if you compare the modulation coding schemes, that is MCS, okay, if you compare them between the both technologies, that is LTE and 5G. So the common is like, in LTE and 5G, you have the QPSK modulation scheme, 16 QAM, 64 QAM, but 5G, this talk about the very, very massive speed, enormous bandwidth. You have the liberty in choosing the sub-carrier spacing. So 5G always goes with the, it emphasizes towards going on to the higher modulation scheme rather than the lower modulation scheme. So higher modulation scheme, we talk about 5G supports up to 256 QAM, 256 QAM as well. So those all we will discuss, in load balancing also, how to steer our traffic towards the high modulation scheme. So we will see those factors that directly or indirectly, mostly directly, impacts our throughput, how to choose, and so how to judge them. Along with the modulation coding scheme, we will also discuss about the RI, that is the rank indicator. So all the factors they're related with the throughput, like carrier aggregation, MIMO, rank, modulation coding scheme, one by one individually, we will discuss in detail so that all the concepts will get clear, and you will not be in any dilemmatic situation. And this will not only help you towards any interview or competence enhancement, but this will also help ease you. It will support you towards your day-to-day deliveries. Typically, we come as an RF optimization guys, what's our daily job? We come, we chose our work cells, we work upon them, we just showcase our improvement, we do some trials, we do some permutation combinations. But in order to segregate the issue to bucket as, sometimes it will very confusing because of the interrelated concepts. So this module of from ATS, this is not only to cover up the kind of a syllabus, but to clear or fundamental concepts, the technical concepts. Then we will see some of the user-centric matrices like per UE throughput, load distribution. And then we will include some of the normal as well as advanced case studies that will show you what level of throughput optimization has been performed. Again, we will follow the same strategy. That is, in every case study, you will see, first of all, we will start with the problem statement. I mean, the problematic scenario that has been diagnosed. Then their root cause analysis that were found. What are those factors that created such kind of problematic scenario? As per those RCS, the parameter selection that will be used for the KPI optimization. After implementing those parameters, what are the counters that will be used for post monitoring? And with the help of KPI trends, pre and post, we will see that what level of improvement has been achieved. So those all stuffs will be included in the case study. For example, like today, it's you take any random date. So we will take the implementation date as reference. We will take a duration of like 7 days as pre. Then we will take reference of implementation day. Then we will take a 7 days as post. So we will compare the duration of 7 pre days versus the 7 post days in order to see what was the situation that was there before carrying out the optimization, parameter optimization, and what is the situation that will happen after the parameter optimization. So with the help of the KPI trend or KPI chart, that will be presented for you. Last but not the least, our last section, because until now we would have covered our architecture, framework, complete hardware part, the components, all the corresponding KPIs, sub KPIs, the factors, the parameters, the use cases. So the module 6 will be basically, it's a kind of a refresher, and those all concepts, kind of a revision, I can say, and some other extend in order to revise you, and some of the extended. Basically, if you see, we will discuss one by one in short summary. And module 6 will be basically not for me, but for you, in order to collect the doubts, although the doubts and queries will be entertained during each and every session. But still, starting from the module 1, if still someone has any question left to be discussed, any feedback, any concerns, for that, we will dedicate a complete 2-hour session, that is module 6. That's why we have named it as end-to-end performance and troubleshooting. Again, you can see that we will revise with the interfaces that we discussed in the module 1. All the KPI threshold, excellent. Every KPI is divided into some of the categories like excellent range, acceptable range, critical ranges, degrading ranges, advanced failure diagnosis, end-to-end call drop analysis. You can also present any of your case study if you have. Otherwise, although we will be discussing. So module 6 will be a kind of refresher. It will be a kind of a revision starting from module 1 to module 5. And to entertain any of your questions, and not to forget to mention that along with all these concepts, along with all the case studies, you will also be provided with, we will show the command line interface. What are those Ericsson commands that has been used, in order to see the live scenario. For example, how to see the current alarms, how to see the current drop parameters, how to see the counters. So those all command line interfaces, we will see. You will be provided with those commands. You will be provided with the parameter list. And just to finish it with, towards the end of the session, after the complete program will be finished, you will also be provided with the list of some question answers that will definitely help you in day-to-day deliveries, in your competency enhancement, and so that you can, it will give you idea what level of questions that has been expected or been asked in any 5G interview scenario. So those all things will be provided. So it's a kind of a live lab, you can see. So typically duration will be of 1 month. The weekend classes will be there. And this is all from my side. So now over to you guys. Still we have, I can see, 21 is a good count. And I really expect that, starting with whenever we're going to start, that will be communicated to you by the management of ATS. So I just hope that same strength will be there. And I also urge that, you should refer to your colleagues, your friends, so that, the more number of persons are there, more brains will be there, more good level of brainstorming session will be there. So this is just a demo session.